I don't know what to say. I this manga, man. This manga. Dude, you know, I'm just at a loss for words, man. Every week I come back and I honestly get the same reaction because I'm thinking, okay, how are they going to top whatever they did last chapter? They did it here. They did it here. Um, so listen, let's talk about it because man, this week's is freaking crazy. Can I also say this? I thought we were going to get a break, like a 2 week break, but no, we are not getting a 2 week break. So what we saw at the end of this chapter, we're getting next week. Honestly, I'll take it. Because I would not be able to wait another 2 weeks for this cliffhanger we're being left on. So, anyways, this is My Hero Academia, manga chapter 286 review. This is Camper 15. Anyways, let's get to it. Now, we all last know what happened with Bakugo, and he got impaled. And essentially, Bakugo, after getting impaled, says, "Stop trying to win this on your own, Deku." I'm gonna call him All for One. All for One / Shigarashi retracts his little stabbing fingernail type things. He retracts those things. Now, obviously, Deku's seen this. Todoroki, along with Endeavor in hand, he manages to essentially grab Kacchan. So we don't know what's going on. That's really it from what we see from them. Anyways, the All for One / Shigarashi body is like, this battle today, so much blood spilled for no good reason. Then he goes in for the same attack again on Deku to essentially take one for all from Deku. And he goes on saying that the last bit being the most pointless of all. Now, Deku, in his inner monologue head, he thinks about everything that has happened, and he says, when you use this power out of anger, it really starts working for you. What matters is controlling your heart. And to say that Deku literally went berserk mode here, he went berserk mode. To the point, dude, man, how much they had to draw on this. You have Deku punching through that attack, All for One dishes out at him. And this dude is incensed. He's got Black Whip all around him. More importantly, hold on a second, guys. Okay, sorry for that. Anyways, the design of Berserk Deku, man. The way he looks, bro, I kid you not. The way his eyes look, bro, they look like frickin' Venom. Like, I kid you not. They're just big, white, slanted, triangle-shaped eyes like Venom. And he literally looks like Venom in this frickin' thing. And my God, I saw this, I was like, holy shit! This dude's punching through, essentially, the little needle things. Now, Deku says, take it back. And fun fact, one of them actually got in his mouth, and he actually bites down and breaks it too. Now it pans over to Shigarashi and All for One's body. Now you see, obviously the Shigarashi side look all shocked as can be. But you see there's a line cut, and it shows the One for All, and All for One looks like he's evilly smiling. So we cut back to Sairo City in Osaka, and the Osaka in Osaka, essentially. And it goes on about Gigantomachia rampaging on into the debris and stuff like that. Now, Gigantomachia, he senses two masters at the same time, Shigarashi and All for One. So this is very interesting, very interesting. He can smell All for One out there. Now, in the Jakku city, in the Jakku suburbs, essentially the news outlet said the rescue squads and the police will escort the citizens, and the heroes will intercept the giant villain. Which I don't know if that's gonna work for these guys, because if it didn't work for the forest, the heroes in the forest, it ain't gonna work now. For these people. Now, obviously, we know that the other heroes don't know what's going on with Shigarashi because the columns are down. Now, they're all moving. Now, it cuts to Ochako, and Ochako says in her head, saying, like, it feels like nothing has gotten better. Really now? Because everything hasn't gone better, so you're already feeling it. And she goes on to say, like, ever since then, it's like the days are longer and the shadows have grown. And essentially, she's talking about from day one, when the League of Villains got into this whole mess and became as big as they have been, things have not gotten for the better and stuff like that. So, you know, she's right. And I really don't. I'm really praying they do not take Ochako from us. I really do love her. But man, I'm just hoping. I think she ends off the thing of saying you guys. No, actually this is, yeah, you guys. Now, we cut back to the fight with Deku and All For One / Shigarashi, whatever you want to call him. Finally, the body of All For One or Shigarashi finally gets a hold of Deku. And obviously, Todoroki's like, Midoriya! And stuff like that. Deku kind of gets back into his senses for a bit. And the All For One, I feel this is more Shigarashi talking. And he goes on to say, I finally got a hold of you. One for all is mine. And it's looking like, okay, he's about to take one for all. But then we get I guess you could say, a sort of the same sequences we get where the dream sequence where Deku's, like, I guess you can say, in another world, in an alternate reality and stuff like that. The same thing applies here like it did last time. The rest of his body, with the exception of his arms and his eyes, they're all covered in black and he can't do anything. Now, Deku mentions this place and he sees something in the distance. And you see these two people. One of these people is All For One, and the other person is Shigarashi. So what I'm guessing is he's seeing what's currently going on in the body of Shigarashi / All For One. Now, Shigarashi replies by saying, well, first thing Deku mentions, like, no, it's him. He knows what All For One looks like. Now, he goes on to say, or Shigarashi goes on to say, you stay in there. All For One replies by saying, don't be like that, Tomura. Besides, I clearly had to lend you my strength. Because you would have been burned to cylinders, and essentially he was going on saying, yeah, if it wasn't for me helping you, Tomura, you would have died. So, obviously, and the crazy thing is this. The way All For One is pictured with Shigarashi is, if you've seen the Venom movie, if you've seen the Venom 2017 movie, there was always a time in the movies where you'd have the Venom symbiote come out of Eddie like this and be like some kind of thing talking to him. It's something like that. So All For One is like a symbiote to, or a parasite to Shigarashi from what it's looking like right now. Then Shigarashi says, just shut up already. It's like I said, Master. I'm running the show now. This is my dream. Now, Deku, he's shocked about this, and he's seeing what's going on. Deku tries to, I would say, crawl to maybe even help, what it looks like to help Shigarashi. So I'm guessing, are they trying to tease, and this is one of my things. Okay, this is a speculation, purely speculation. We know that Shigarashi never was saved / never got help from somebody or a hero. What if All For One takes over his body completely, and Deku has to save Shigarashi from All For One controlling his body, which in turn would, I wouldn't say maybe change Shigarashi's character. He'd probably still be a bad guy, but maybe he'd appreciate Deku for being like, thank you for that. So that's just a pure speculation, a pure theory from me. What if that goes that route? That'd be a very interesting route if they take it. Shigarashi needs saving. We know Deku will save anybody. Now, like I said, Deku in the last few panels, he's trying to crawl to go out there and try to help. But then you have this hand touch his head, and this person says, "You can't move in this world yet. So let us handle this." And Nana Shimura is the person behind Deku saying, "We're going to handle this." And that's when and this is when this manga chapter ends off. And I'm like, oh my god. Of course Nana's there because she's gonna probably try to finally do what she wanted to do and be there for her. Her grandson, and and help him. Now, okay, first things first. What I gotta say is this. Nana Shimura says you can't move in this world yet. So I wonder, are we gonna maybe get a future battle where Deku fights in the inner worlds of, I guess, One for All and All for One? Because it seems like Deku's in the world of All for One, or the mind space of All for One instead of One for All. And obviously, the vestiges are there backing him. Another thing, it seems like the vestiges are going to interfere into this fight internally and maybe save Shigarashi from the All for One controlling thing. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know if it's just going to be Nana. She says all of us, let us handle this, which means the other users, the other past users, the other vestiges of One for All, which is very interesting. So, and then so Deku's gonna be watching the other users of One for All maybe help out Shigarashi this one time. Now the thing about Deku potentially getting One for All taken from him, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen, and here's the reason why. I think what's gonna happen is, I think the vestiges, because the vestige powers, I think they're going to not allow Shigarashi and One for All, or I mean All for One, to take One for All. I think what they're gonna do is, like, you cannot take this power unless we willingly give you this power. And I know it'd be a kind of a contradiction, but I think that's what's gonna happen. I think that's gonna happen because the story's gonna continue. I think what's going to definitely happen is Deku will maintain and keep One for All because of the vestiges, and they'll essentially be a thing that's like, nope, you cannot steal One for All from this kid unless he willingly gives it to you, and stuff like that. And I feel like that's the thing, and I feel like the vestiges are going to get in the way from making One for All be taken away. And I think, honestly, that's been my entire belief. I feel like, well, if anything, I think Deku can't get it taken away, because unless he willingly gives it to somebody else, and if somebody tries to forcibly take it from him, I feel like that's when the vestiges would stand in and be like, create a wall to Deku and be like, you can't steal this quirk and stuff like that. So next week is going to be very interesting in terms of where this story goes. So I'm ready. I can't wait. And yeah, so anyways, if you like this video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this manga chapter. What can you expect for the future? Like I said, I don't think Deku will get One for All taken away from him. One for All taken away from him because the vestiges will be essentially the blockers, or the firewall in terms of technology-wise, to not let that happen. They're gonna be like, yep, you can't have it. Sorry. And plus, I think they see what Deku's going through, and they're going to be like, no, this kid's special. We can't let this get into the wrong hands. So the vestiges are going to get involved next week. Now, we only saw Nana so far, but I feel like the other vestiges are right side by side with him. And who knows? You didn't think about this. What if we finally get the real, not silhouette designs, but what if we get to finally see what the first and the third users of One for All finally look like? That's when they can definitely show them now here. And it definitely, you can see, if so many people's speculations on, oh, those are past versions of, Bakugo and Kirishima, which some people think, even though the silhouettes look like them, So I feel like that's also going to get to that reveal too of what the second and third users of One for All look like. So that's gonna you also got to keep that in mind too. Anyways, that's really it. And hit the subscribe button if you want to get more My Hero Academia content. So I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go eat my breakfast. I'm gonna go watch some football. So other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully, you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.